Walt Michaels, he has had a dynamite year.
I think he ought to be the leading candidate with Jack Patera for Coach of the Year. These guys have brought a bunch of young players with a lot of enthusiasm, made them execute well, and they are in contention. You can't ask for any more than that, Charlie.
We've got a great ball game this afternoon. The New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns, they both look for a chance at the playoffs. The executive producer of NFL 78 is Don Omeyer. Today's show was produced by Don McGuire, directed by Steve Rosen. Technical Director Sal Nagita. Associate Director Mary Buda. Coming up next, the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Brought to you by Schlitz. Beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great. By Chrysler Plymouth, who invites you to see and compare Plymouth Volare, the solid, substantial midsize for $79. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring. Go with the names you know. AC Delco.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody. This afternoon, the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. It is cold in Cleveland. Wind chill factor minus 10 degrees. Don Cockcroft will be kicking off. These are the playoff contenders. Pittsburgh is in the playoffs, and look who is left. New England, Denver, Miami, Houston, the Jets, Oakland, Seattle, Cleveland, and San Diego. Some decisions will be made this afternoon. One could well be made right here. Darnell Powell to the 33-yard line. So the Jets will now start on offense with a backfield. Matt Robinson at quarterback. Scott Durking and Kevin Long are the two running backs.
And, Charlie, when you take a look at a Matt Robinson, he's picked up right where Richard Todd left off. It leads you to feel that, hey, there must be a lot of things going on for these two young quarterbacks to play as well as they have. I think excellent coaching, and take a look at these two tackles. I mean, Powell and Ward are something exceptional. There are a couple guys from SC and Ohio State that learn how to pass block, that go about 270, 275, and really allow a young quarterback the time he needs to learn. And I think with every week, Robinson and Todd get to respect those two outside people more and more and more.
You're talking about the offensive line for the Jets with Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, Joe Fields, Dan Alexander, and Marvin Powell. Here are the receivers: Wesley Walker, Derek Gaffney, and Jerome Barkham.
We mentioned enough about them early, Charlie. You're going to see a lot of them. When conditions are as they are today, slidey, icy, cold, everybody will be holding on to their hands as much as they can. The Jets offense is throwing the ball. They're still going to have to do that, and it may not be too tough once they get it underway.
Now, first down, Jets, 33-yard line. Kevin Long, 37-yard line. It would be second and 6. Clay Matthews makes the tackle. Now let's go back to what you were talking about a moment ago. Chris Ward and Marvin Powell, the offensive tackles.
Well, I think very simply, it takes a great tackle, and you don't find very many, quite a while to learn how to be great, how to handle those excellent people on defense, the outside defensive ends. They have two of them. I think it'll allow them to operate better today.
Second and 6. Kevin Long, the remaining back. Robinson, pump fake. Ball is knocked away. Jets recover it. Mike St. Clair knocked it away. Marvin Powell fell on it, and I believe the officials will rule it an incomplete pass. That will be the call. Back to the line of scrimmage at 37. It will be third down and 6. Here's what happens to a young quarterback on a very cold afternoon.
Well, actually, Robinson had enough time if the secondary hadn't covered his receivers very well. Let's take a look at Chris Ward. You see, now Mac Mitchell's a pretty good pass rusher. He just runs him by the pile, allows Matt to stand in there. That time he got beat from the inside.
3rd and 6, ball game just underway. Minus 10 degrees. Field is frozen. Pass is on target. First down, fumble. Cleveland has the football. Ron Bolton picks up the fumble. The Browns with an early break.
I'll tell you, that ball could not have been thrown better. You hear about Walker and Gaffney. He split the zone just perfectly. Darden was a little deep. Good hit just as he caught the ball. Let's take a look. Here's Robinson back to throw. Good protection. Puts it right on the money to Walker. Here comes Tony Peter over, gets a piece of the ball. As cold as it is, it's just a little slick for him now. Bolton picks it up, makes a big turnover for the Browns, and they've got it in good field position.
So Cleveland goes to work with Brian Sipe at quarterback. He gives to Greg Pruitt. Pruitt slipping and sliding for 10 and a first down. He goes from the 31 of the Jets to the 20. It's a first down. Burgess Owens makes the tackle. Here's that backfield with Sipe, Pruitt, and Cleo Miller.
Well, obviously, their personality is getting more to be Brian Sipe, but Greg Pruitt has been the man for them over the past 4 or 5 years. They gear everything they do to him, and I think a lot of the reason that Cleveland isn't in excellent position contention-wise now is because Pruitt's missed so many games.
First down at the Jets' 20-yard line. No score. A minute, 50 seconds into the ball game. Cleo Miller to around the 13-yard line. It'll be second mark at the 14-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Here are the receivers for Brian Sipe: Dave Logan, Reggie Rucker, Ozzie Newsome, the rookie tight end.
They don't have a great one yet, Charlie, but they may have in Ozzie Newsome. He's a tight end. When you find one with his ability, he'll be more of the offense in years to come. Reggie Rucker and Logan are good.
Second down, 4. Pruitt. First down. 7-yard line. It'll be first down and goal to go.
Tell you, Robert Jackson and Barry Darrow just did their job. If they handle the defensive front three for the Jets, it could be a good day for Cleveland and a long one for the Jets.
Offensive line: Doug Deacon, Henry Shepard, Tom DeLeon, Robert E. Jackson, and Barry Darrow. First down, goal to go. 7-yard line. Pruitt. 5-yard line. A gain of a couple, and it'll be second down, goal to go. Burgess Owens was there, Lawrence Pillars was there, and Schaefer Suggs was the man who made first contact. Defensive front three for the Jets: Lawrence Pillars, Abdul Salam, and Joe Klecko.
Salam, very active, very strong. Joe Klecko went into a little lull in the middle of the season. He's now playing up to his form. They need to have a big game out of these two with Lawrence Pillars. They're going to mean a lot to the Jets.
You know, Klecko is always out a couple of hours before the ball game. First Jet on the field. Not today. It was too cold. Second down, goal to go for Cleveland. Trying to cash in on Ron Bolton's fumble recovery. Straight shot, Cleo Miller. Around the 2-yard line, where it'll be third down and goal to go. Abdul Salam was there for the Jets, along with almost everybody else. Here are the linebackers: Larry Keller, John Hennessy, Mark Merrill. Again replacing, third week in a row, Mike Hennigan and Bob Martin on the right side.
When you talk about Hennigan and Buttle going down, they've got a lot of young linebackers playing. They're playing the kind of defense where when you use 4 linebackers, you've got pre-assigned duties for them to do. They've got to be aggressive. They've got to be active. These guys are that.
At the 2-yard line, third down, goal to go. Calvin Hill is in. Excellent receiver. 5 touchdowns, all receiving. Newsome in motion. Calvin Hill into the end zone, but a flag is down. It is against the Jets. Calvin Hill puts the Browns in front. 31 yards of the drive, 6 plays.
Not very often has Cleveland run the ball 45 yards without putting it in the air at some time during a drive. They were able to do so. Their offensive line just controlled the front three for the Jets. They've got 6 on the board. Big break for Cleveland early.
Dave Logan to hold Don Cockcroft, who has split the uprights 32 of 34 times for an extra point. It is good. The score, Cleveland 7, the New York Jets nothing. We have 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. We're in the first quarter.
Is your gas doing everything it could for your car? Be sure with STP gas treatment, because it really helps. To keep a carburetor clean, fight rust in the fuel system, it even helps get water out of your gas tank. And it's easy to use. STP gas treatment, it really helps, so try it. Yeah, for my car, it's STP.
It's lightweight, it's portable, it's virtually indestructible. You can hammer on it, saw on it, sand on it, paint on it, drive a screw on it, cut a pipe on it, clean a door on it, fix a picture on it, or a wheelbarrow, or a chair, or a bicycle. You can even have your lunch on it. The incredible Black & Decker workmate. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Sam Ratigliano, the rookie head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Their record is 7-7. Here's the drive. The average just a shade over 5 yards of play. And as you pointed out, John Brody, all on the ground.
And, you know, there's something that's been a real turnaround here. Brian Sipe has put over 100 points on the board in the last 3 games, plus this drive. And when you do that, you're doing something offensively correct. Sam said he thinks Jim Schaffner is mainly responsible, along with the offensive coaches. His players are together now. He wishes the season was starting over.
Don Cockcroft kicking off to either Bruce Harper or Darnell Powell. 16-yard line. It is Bruce Harper, the return specialist for the Jets. New York will have excellent field position again at their own 33-yard line. Clay Matthews, the rookie linebacker from USC, makes the tackle for the Browns. We've got a score in. The Giants leading St. Louis 3-0 on a field goal. First quarter of that ball game. What's the weather in New York? Anybody know? Is it as cold as it is here?
I don't think it's over 50.
The Jets go to work from their own 33. They trail in the ball game. Scott Durking. Durking picks up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, along with Earl Edwards, make the tackle. Here is the defensive line for Cleveland. Mike St. Clair, Earl Edwards. You played with Earl.
Well,
Jerry
Earl
Shirk,
is having his best year right now, Charlie. You know, Jerry Shirk's been a mainstay for a long period of time. On the outside, St. Clair and Mitchell are doing an adequate job. They aren't getting the pass rush they'd like, but they're playing very steady. 2nd and 5. Durking, long with the block. Durking will come up about a yard shy of the first down. Again, it was Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, who made the tackle. Durking from Purdue has a 4.6-yard average. Here are the linebackers. Charlie Hall, he's so good you never hear about him. They don't go at him at all. Dick Ambrose and Clay Matthews, the rookie. And they also have another rookie coming in next year, Robert Jackson, who is just like Clay Matthews. They've got their strongest position as linebacker.
And you'll see Robert L. Jackson when they go to a 3-4. Kevin Long, first down. He'll go close to the 45, where Oliver Davis and Tom Darden were there. Here's the secondary. Ron Bolton, he's starting for the first time in 6 weeks. He had a broken forearm. Oliver Davis, Tony Peters, and Tom Darden, who has 9 interceptions.
And I think Tom Darden not only is having his best year, but probably as good as any in the league. The rest of the defensive secondary is very good, but they're going to have their hands full before this day's over.
Cleveland leading in the ball game, 7-0. Ron Bolton with a fumble recovery of Wesley Walker. Kevin Long to the 50-yard line. It'll be second down and 5. Clay Matthews and Earl Edwards make the tackle. Now, Matthews is starting at defensive right linebacker in place of Gerald Irons for a couple of reasons. One is that Irons is bothered by a toe injury. Main reason, he was the #1 draft choice. He's from USC, and he is good.
And they want to see more of him.
Durking, a couple of yards.
And I'll tell you, Clay Matthews made a play right then that you can't teach. He just shot down the line, got Durking by the back of the legs from behind before he'd made more than a yard. Maybe that's why he's playing.
Dallas leading Philadelphia 7-0. Scott Laidlaw from a yard out. They mark it at the Cleveland 49-yard line, so it's third down and actually round 4 to go. Robinson throws over the head of Scott Durkin. The Brown defense holds. Charlie Hall had the defensive coverage, and that means that Chuck Ramsey will come in to kick.
And Charlie Hall was left all alone on Durkin because you have to put somebody man-to-man on someone else. They're doing all they can to cover up for Wesley Walker deep. Darden's not going to give those linebackers much help, and Charlie Hall was up to it that trip.
Haskell Standback scored the touchdown for Atlanta as they lead Washington. Chuck Ramsey with a 41-yard average, third in the conference. Joe Fields is the center. We point that out because it is a bad field. Keith Wright, the return specialist. It is snowing. The wind is whipping around. Wind chill factor is -10. Fielded at the 13-yard line by Keith Wright of Memphis State. And he is down in the neighborhood of the 21 or the 22-yard line. A kick of 36 yards. Cleveland 7, New York nothing. 6:58 time remaining, first quarter.
The secret to getting ahead in business is staying cool, because somebody's always trying to pass you up, especially if you're renting a car. You see, I can walk through airports. I have an Avis Wizard number. Cool.
Oh, Mr. Bell, that mid-sized car you reserved, we just rented the last one.
What?
So we're giving you a Buick LeSabre at the same rate.
What?
Well, that's the Avis policy.
What a wonderful thing to do.
Avis now features GM cars.
Terrific time. Let's have a beer.
Yeah, let's have a new Schlitz Light.
There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light.
Think we won?
Well, it's not whether you win or lose.
It's the beer you choose.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
It's a classic rematch as the explosive Sooners of Oklahoma take on their powerful Big 8 rivals, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, in a spectacular Orange Bowl, New Year's Day on NBC.
Nebraska to Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, John.
Well, you know, being a Tommy Osborne, it's tough enough to beat Oklahoma once. Now you have to go over and do it all over again. I know he's not looking forward to it, but he'll really prove his bid if he does it.
Remember what Arkansas did to them last year. Arkansas, by the way, in the Fiesta Bowl against UCLA Christmas Day on NBC. Cleveland now from their own 22-yard line. Greg Pruitt. See where they mark him out of bounds. Be around the 26-yard line. John Hennessy was chasing him. So it'll be second down and around 6 to go for Greg Pruitt. Schaefer Suggs on the sidelines trying to stay warm.
He's got no case.
I got a report from New York City. It is 31 and clear. In Cleveland, it is -10 with a wind chill factor and snow flurries. Ryan Sight from San Diego State. Greg Pruitt has already picked up 25 yards in 4 carries. Keith Wright. In as a wide receiver for Dave Logan. He goes to the 33-yard line, should pick up the first down. Ed Taylor makes the tackle.
You know, Charlie, Doug Deacon and Henry Shepard really coordinated well. They didn't pick up a lot of yards, but when you're throwing a quick screen, you have to get the left side of your line out if you're throwing to the left. They both got out real well. Deacon turned around, picked up the pursuit. Henry came out and picked off the cornerback, and that's how you make things go.
And with that pass, Brian Sipe now joins 6 other Cleveland Browns, over 7,000 yards career passing. Not bad for a surfer from Southern California. Here's Greg Pruitt. A couple of yards to the 35, 2nd and 8. Lawrence Pillars makes the tackle.
And the funny thing is, Charlie, you know, so many people say, you know, what is it that's Brian Sipe's weakness? And when you really think about it, it's just that he's not 9 feet tall. He doesn't run around with a big stick, because the guy can do everything. He's not the prototype quarterback, the kind of 6'4" with a big, strong arm and has a loud voice. He's just very effective. Get people around him who can execute, and he will bring them as far as they can go.
Second half of the doubleheader. Most of the country to see Oakland at Miami. Another big game on NBC leading to the Super Bowl. Sipe to throw, 5 on the pattern. Pulled down by Greg Pruitt. Pruitt having a fantastic afternoon. 48-yard line, first down. Bobby Jackson makes the tackle.
It's still very early, and he's made a few key plays in both drives. You know that they know they have to throw the ball early against these fellas, and when they do, they're going to give themselves protection. They put two people on Salam, 2 people on Klecko. They took their 3-man line, made it ineffective. It gives you enough time to throw the kind of balls you want.
Now, Brian told us before the ball game he feels they can run against the 3-4.
Well, that's fine. He can if their offensive line moves people out of there, and they're doing so right now.
Greg Pruitt. Miller, the lead blocker. 49-yard line of the Jets. Gain of 3. 2nd down, 7.
This is a tough play when you're playing a 3-man line. To force the play up the field, keep Deacon from pushing you off the line of scrimmage, allow your linebackers to pursue. In this case, he allowed Martin to pursue, forced the play in, and the pursuit picked up.
Joe Klecko this year has 9 sacks, 8 last year. 2nd and 7, Cleveland. Quick screen, Keith Wright. Right to the 43-yard line. About a yard shy of the first down. 3 minutes, 53 seconds time remaining. We're in the first quarter. The Browns leading the Jets 7-0 as Ron Bolton picked up a Wesley Walker fumble, returned it to the 31-yard line of the Jets. Cleveland moved in to score the touchdown. No score first quarter, Buffalo and New England. If New England wins, they are in the playoffs. They're 5 minutes into that ball game. Calvin Hill is in, and 2 tight ends are in now for the Cleveland Browns. Calvin Hill, first down.
If he can get to the line of scrimmage, he can lean for 2.5 yards.
He just doesn't age, does he?
Old folks is playing pretty good.
You like that. First down, Cleveland. They've been able to consistently move on the Jet defense this afternoon. Hill comes out, Pruitt comes back in. Remember what a big to-do they made over Calvin Hill when he was drafted by the Cowboys because he was from Yale?
Yeah, they've got about 15 players from Yale playing around the league. That's now. Right. And Dartmouth and Cornell and everywhere else.
At the Jet 40-yard line, first down. Sipe likes to show play-action pass here. And he overthrows Dave Logan out of bounds. How's that for a call, John?
Well, the call, there was really nothing, nothing fancy about the call. He got somebody right in his face, and
I didn't mean his call. I meant my call.
Oh, you saw it. You're looking. You haven't left yet. But Bob Martin really forced the play. He got right in Sipe's face. When he did so, he had to throw the ball over the top of the receiver.
Dallas now leading Philadelphia 14-0.
And Stahl back to Dorset. Their 2 horses put them ahead 14-0. 8:59 gone in the first.
2nd down and 10. Cleveland leading the Jets 7-0 here. 2.5 minutes time remaining first quarter. First back through is Cleo Miller. Klecko with some help from Salam pushes him back. Bob Martin also in on the play.
Get the feeling the yardage is coming a little tougher now, Chaz?
Yes. Now 3rd down and 8. He's got to throw. What do you go to?
Well, he doesn't have to. There's no law that says he will, but I think if he does throw the ball, they'll try to exploit something on the corners because those linebackers have good drops. They put 8 men in the pass defense, and you must get to them quick.
And Calvin Hill, excellent receivers in the backfield. This is the 10th play of the drive. Started at the Cleveland 22, now at the 38-yard line of New York. Sight. First down, 29-yard line. Going to Reggie Rucker. Bob Martin and Taylor make the tackle.
And Reggie Rucker ran a fine pattern. We mentioned that they've got to throw some to the outside. Dave Logan clears the slot out. He throws it right in between the linebacker. And Taylor puts the ball at just the right place at just the right time, and that's the only way he was going to get that first down.
They mark it at the New York 28-yard line. Second time in this drive that the Browns have converted on third down. Greg Pruitt. Just inside the 24, Schaefer Suggs makes a tackle. It'll be second down and 6. We never did set the secondary for the Jets. Bobby Jackson and Ed Taylor on the corners. Schaefer Suggs and Burgess Owens defensive safety.
And I think one of the biggest improvements in their team is the play of both Schaefer Suggs and Burgess Owens at free and strong safety. These two have been covering the field very well like center fielders, and it's helped on the corners because the linebackers can go out there a little more often than they were able in the past.
30 seconds, time remaining in a fast-moving first quarter. Calvin Hill. Klecko caught him from behind. His momentum will pick up a couple of yards on the play, and that should run out the clock in the first quarter. First quarter that has been dominated by Cleveland.
Charlie, that's about as fast as I've ever seen a quarter played. This is under a half an hour. You just don't see that very often. They must know it's kind of cold, too.
Yeah, they're well aware of the fact. As the gun sounds, that is the end of the first quarter as Walt Michaels looks on. The score, the Browns 7, the Jets nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter of today's game after these messages from your local...
Shields and Yarnell star in the Walt Disney World Christmas Special with Phyllis Diller and Danielle Spencer, Pablo Cruz and Andrea McArdle, tonight on NBC.
On Centennial, the West is torn by new tensions.
There's room for everyone. There was room for everyone.
Lynn Redgrave stars Sunday on NBC.
Are you safe and snug there in your bed? Are you really protected in the dead of night against fire? Could you lead your family through smoke, darkness, fear, and confusion? Get the Wells Fargo Fire and Smoke Detector with automatic safety light. It will help you lead your family to safety. In the dead of night, a Wells Fargo detector could make a very big difference.
Plenty of banks might give me a college loan for Betty, but they can't give me Madeline Height to advise me.
Other banks could give me the money for a vacation in the Orient. Only the Irving can give me Doug Coburn.
There's lots of ways to borrow home improvement money, but the Irving gave us Karen Dowdle to figure out the best for us. Karen's our personal banker. It's her job to know what we need.
At the Irving, you get more than a loan. You get your own personal banker to advise you. That's what makes the Irving different.
The Scarborough Cafferty Report, tomorrow night at 6.
Earlier, we had a swirling wind. That has ceased. The sun has started to come out at Cleveland as we start this second quarter. Browns leading the Jets 7-0. Third down, Cleveland. 4 to go on the New York 22-yard line.
At least it looks warmer now.
Yes. It's a mirage. Cleo Miller, Calvin Hill are the running backs. Logan wide to the right side. Seif looks left, throws, way overthrows Reggie Rucker. Burgess Owens and Ed Taylor had the coverage as Brian Seif comes out. Don Cockcroft comes in. Field goal attempt upcoming.
He got in trouble early in the season trying to force balls that looked just like that. He saw it was not open. Owens played it perfectly. He threw it over the top of Taylor's head, everybody's head. And at least they're having to go at a field goal.
Key stat, first quarter, look to the lower right. Time of possession, 10.5 minutes. Logan to hold, 29-yard line, an attempt of 39 yards. Well within the range of Don Cockcroft. It is blocked. Joe Klecko blocks the field goal attempt of Don Cockcroft.
It never got up in the air. And they had pretty good surge up the middle. When you don't get it past those linemen, the going gets a little rough, too, as you saw about 4 people climb on top.
We'll be back in a moment.
Pick up one of the 2 newest pickups for 1979 from Dodge. The new Dodge Adventurer SE has dramatic new styling that makes it look as tough as it is. The all-new Dodge Junior Sport has very impressive EPA mileage estimates. Both pickups have Dodge dependability backed by 60 years in the pickup business. Dodge Adventurer and Dodge Junior Sport, like father, like son.
Dodge is into trucking, like America's into Jeep. Hey, that's my Dodge.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
Guess who takes over when Santa can't fly on Christmas?
Me? Filling for Santa Claus?
A Flintstone Christmas, Monday on NBC.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody, and Joe Klecko at work.
Well, actually, he didn't kick it quite as low as originally I had thought. However, Klecko gets real good surge, good penetration on the outside by Jackson, and that bounce may have saved a turnover touchdown because it could have bounced anywhere and there wasn't too many Browns around.
New York, first down, their own 29-yard line. They trail now, 7-0. Scott Durking. Durking to the 34-yard line. A flag is down as Dick Ambrose makes the tackle. Holding against the Jets, the preliminary call from Red Cash and the referee. Art Demas is the umpire. Ed Marion, the head linesman. Tom Dooley, the line judge. John Fouch, the back judge. Nathan Jones, the side judge. And Bill Kingston is the field judge.
You know, Charlie, as well as the Jets throw the ball, their personality is still such that the Durking and Long and Gaines, Harper, they have 70, 80-yard games. Sometimes both their backs have 80, 85 yards in a game.
Holding on Chris Ward. So it'll be first down at the 19. 1st and 20. Robinson, a quick out. Pass is complete. Wesley Walker out of bounds. He is out at the 26-yard line. So he gets 7 back. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
Don't want to get greedy down there inside your own 20, Charlie.
We talked about time of possession. This gives you another comparison of what has happened thus far in the ball game, with the Browns leading the Jets 7-0. 14:41, time remaining, first half. Bruce Harper replaces Scott Durking in the backfield. They show a double wing many times in this situation. Here they go from the eye with Bruce Harper carrying. He'll lose a yard. Earl Edwards, the old pro in his 10th year, makes the tackle.
It was a good play by Earl, and it wasn't a bad call, in my opinion, by Robinson. You want to call a lot of change of flow plays, change of direction plays, where your people don't have to make too many cuts, and the defense does. A draw play is one of those, as is a screen, as both teams have thrown a couple of.
Clark Gaines and Bruce Harper are now the 2 running backs. 3rd down, 14. Robinson will have to throw. Both backs in the block. Robinson goes deep. It is incomplete. Derek Gaffney could not pull it down. It'll be 4th and 14. Chuck Ramsey will come aboard to kick. Telecast this afternoon presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. Chuck Ramsey from Wake Forest, whose wife, by the way, is the women's tennis coach at the University of Tennessee, will be kicking. No breeze. Keith Wright, return specialist. The rookie from Memphis State is set for the return. 40-yard line. Fakes the reverse. He keeps. He could break it all the way to the 40, 30, and then out of bounds. Larry Keller saves a touchdown.
And Larry Keller had a tough play to make because that play broke about as cleanly as anything I've ever seen. There was a wall with nothing but brown shirts over there. Completely fooled the Jets. They must have seen them run a reverse early. They got double guessed and came up short. Here you go. You see the fake. They've got Jets crossing each other as they form the wall over on the left side.
A return of 37 yards for Keith Wright. '23-yard line of New York. Mike Pruitt, his first appearance on offense. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. They'll mark the ball at the 22-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Mike Pruitt not starting because in the game against Seattle last Sunday, he suffered a concussion. They checked him out. He is all right. They simply did not want to start him. Logan and Rucker, slot left side. Record-setting Brian Sipe. Has a man. It's Pruitt. Touchdown. 20th touchdown pass of the year for Brian Sipe. 22 yards on the play.
That's just about as well a thrown and as well a run pattern as you can run. Here you go. He's trying to get somebody on the backers to split them, get somebody down the field to take out the deep corner man. He gets him on Hennessy. There's no contest once you get one-on-one with a linebacker and Greg Pruitt. 13-0.
Extra point yet to come. Cockcroft splits the uprights. The score, Cleveland 14 and New York nothing with 12:54 left to go, second quarter.
Kids love to play firemen. This Christmas, add to their fun with Radio Shack's Fire Chief helmet and fire engine. This authentic-looking helmet has a flashing red light and siren. Fire engine has extendable ladder, flashing beacon, and comes with control cams for 6 different driving patterns. 2 action-packed gifts from Radio Shack. Price forgiven. Fire Chief helmet just $6.99. Fire engine only $5.99. Only at Radio Shack. A Tandy Company.
Don't shave. Huh? I'm anti-friction. Whoa. With new Noxzema anti-friction shave.
Does it work against nicks and cuts?
Oh, yes. Anti-friction is Noxzema's blend of protective lubricants. They form a glide shield against nicks and cuts. You shave uncommonly smooth.
Check it out with Noxzema anti-friction shave. Anti-friction protects your face.
Anti-friction.
Sam Rutigliano, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, his rookie year. Browns leading the Jets 14-0, and look at this. After the first quarter, Buffalo and New England, no score. Remember, if New England wins that ball game, they're in the playoff. Darnell Powell and Bruce Harper are the deep backs on the return. Cockcroft to kick off. Harper, 17-yard line. Harper to the 30. Returns to the 40-yard line. Ron Bolton makes the tackle. Now New York trailing 14-0. They cannot let it get out of hand. They have to stay close.
That's right, and they can't panic either. So, I mean, they have to start taking over the line of scrimmage. They've got a fine offensive line. They haven't had enough of the ball to find out what they can do yet. Their defense has to stop Cleveland's offense for them to get a chance to get back in.
Jets go to work at their own 40-yard line. Robinson. All alone is Gaffney. 41-yard line of Cleveland. Derek Gaffney, the rookie from Florida. Flag is down. Darden makes the tackle. Oh, Gaffney was recruited by Florida after he signed. He then helped recruit Wes Chandler, who was a running back. He said, we'll make a great combination. Little did he know Wes Chandler became the wide receiver, and he sat on the bench for a while.
He is a fine wide receiver right now, and maybe his exposure or lack of it down in Florida kept him from being drafted as high as he might have been. But Tom Darden can't play the center like he'd like to. He has to be concerned with Wesley Walker.
Number 27 on the defense, unnecessary roughness, first down.
Unnecessary roughness on Tom Darden.
And we mentioned early that it might be a good day for a Gaffney or a Jerome Barkham. You can see Tom Darden coming up late, but he has to stay back.
At the Cleveland 26-yard line, first down. Let's save that replay. We'll look at it again. Robinson overthrows everybody. Look at the coverage. I believe he was just throwing it away. Gaffney and Barkham are both down there. Let's go back.
Here we have Wesley. He can fly, you know it. All he has to do is go to the post. That holds Tom Darden.
And he's alone at the post, too.
Well, he is, but that screen isn't very big, and that ball takes a while to get there. I think they could have covered Wesley, but the ball wasn't thrown there.
In case you're wondering, we did not save that other replay, so we don't need to worry about it. Wesley Walker, 2 receptions, 31 yards thus far in the ball game. Kevin Long. He'll pick up about 3. Dick Ambrose and Clay Matthews make the tackle. Mark it for 4 to the 22, and it will be 3rd down and 6.
Uh-oh. Roland Hooks has run for 28 yards with 13:21 left to play in the second quarter, and Buffalo leads New England 7-0.
If and buts were candy and nuts, all of the teams would make the playoffs this year. It's going to come down on next Sunday. 3rd and 6 for the Jets. They trail 14-0. Robinson, he is dead. Mike St. Clair with the first sack of the ball game for the Browns. They're 27th on the year.
Charlie, he counts on getting a little more time. He stands in that pocket tall. They make no effort to get outside and scramble. And when he doesn't get up to 3 or 3.5 seconds to throw the ball, his pattern doesn't develop, and that's the result.
Pat Leahy is in from the 35-yard line. A kick of 45 yards. Now, Leahy has hit 77% inside of 50 yards distance. And he hits this one from 45 yards out.
And that is to get on the board. Keeps him from being run out of the ballpark. 45 yards is equal to about 50 on a good day. That was a fine kick.
Cleveland 14, the Jets 3. We'll be back in a moment.
With a Kodak Color Burst Instant Camera, you get color in minutes. Color by Kodak.
Let me see.
That's downright irresistible.
Oh, let me see, let me see.
Which makes Kodak Color Burst Instant Cameras among the more irresistible of Christmas presents.
It's a big, shiny machine. Dodge makes it. One of 28 pickup truck models for 1979, including roomy club cabs, even roomier crew cabs, and four-wheel drive power wagons that have an urge to play. Dodge makes pickups that help build houses and carry houses, and sometimes Dodge makes the day.
Dodge is in for trucking, like America's in for G. That's my Dodge.
And that's my Dodge. The Razorbacks of Arkansas and the Bruins of UCLA, two of the most exciting teams in college football, go head-to-head in the Fiesta Bowl, Christmas Day on NBC.
My old alma mater, University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks against UCLA at the Fiesta Bowl on NBC Christmas Day. Larry Collins on the return. Around the 28-yard line. Clark Gaines, who has been the captain of the specialty teams for the Jets in the last 4 ball games, makes the tackle. Now, there's the score, 14-7. Clark Gaines the last 2 years leading rusher and leading receiver for the Jets, now in the specialty teams, now the captain.
It shows you they think they have something going. And when you get everybody doing what they can to help a group, your team does better. And that's possibly why the Jets are where they are today, with a chance to get in the playoffs.
Cleveland now from their own 28-yard line. Brian Sipe has completed 5 of 7, 57 yards. Sipe, play action. Rucker. Knocked down by Bobby Jackson, 45-yard line, first down.
When you fool the linebackers, Charlie, on play action and first down, that's what you have to try and do. They've got 8 people back there playing defense. Very difficult to throw in the holes because there aren't very many. But if you get them playing run, just for that 0.5 of a second, you can get your backs and your wide receivers down on those deep defenders. That's what Sipe did. Picked on Jackson, and they've got a first.
Reggie Rucker, his second reception of the ball game, 27 yards. At the Cleveland 45-yard line, first down. Flag will be down. There was motion in the line by the Cleveland Browns.
They're having so much fun, they can't wait to get started.
There's the call. Goes against the Browns. They get back to the Cleveland 40. It'll be 1st and 15. Ten minutes, 34 seconds time remaining in the second quarter.
Illegal motion, number 82 on the offense.
Ozzie Newsome, right side of the screen. Oops, sorry, Ozzie. Rookie mistake. He is going to be a good one. Woo. Has already made the UPI all-rookie team. Go ahead, John.
No, you know, for those at home who know that a tight end can move.
Flag is down.
He must come to a stationary position, and that's what he didn't do before they snapped the ball.
See what this penalty is about.
Second down.
The call was on left guard Henry Shepard. Refused. Second down, 14. First time in the ballgame, it's gotten a little sloppy.
Well, it's a big drive for the Jets, Charlie. It has gotten a bit sloppy. You get a little anxious sometimes when everything you try is working.
Sipe to throw. 5 on the pattern. Over the head of Dave Logan, but Logan slipped when he made his cut. So it'll be 3rd down, 14. In case you joined us late, wind chill factor here is -10. Field was frozen before the ball game. Sun is out.
You know, we mentioned that the linebackers have been able to get to the flats in a little bit better position. That time, Sipe did overthrow him, but Bob Martin took a perfect drop. There was really no lane for him to complete the ball. They come back 3rd and 14. They've got 1 down to stop them if you're a Jet fan, and you can get control of the ball and get something back.
And the Browns bring in Calvin Hill. Excellent receiver. Scored the first touchdown of the ball game. 5 on the pattern. Going deep. Pulled in. Ozzie Newsome, the tight end from Alabama.
Boy, that's about the hardest pass in the game to catch. You're running blind through the secondary. The ball has taken quite a while to get there. Ozzie Newsome is recognized as a real find. Watch him get off the line of scrimmage, gets down, he's splitting through the zone. Sipe lays the ball up rather high. I'll tell you, Burgess Owens, if he'd gotten there a little bit quicker, could have disjointed Newsome. As it was, he made a great catch, and they've kept control of the ball.
29 yards. It was 3rd and 14. Remember, here's Greg Pruitt. Out of bounds. 21-yard line. Ed Taylor was chasing him. It'll be 2nd down and 1. The Browns completely dominating the first half of this ballgame.
And they're running left, and they're running well to the left. They've got good people, Doug Deacon and Henry Shepard, but the Jets have got to shut something down.
9 minutes, 40 seconds. Greg Pruitt, that's the time remaining in the first half. Greg Pruitt, 44 yards rushing in 9 carries. He has 3 100-yard games this year, and he's missed several games due to injuries. Mike Pruitt. 14-yard line, first down. Schaefer Suggs makes the tackle. Here's another look.
I guess he is okay. He got real good offensive line surge, didn't get any contact till he got 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Schaefer Suggs comes up to make the stop, but boy, he took the brunt of it.
Now in this situation, a first down at the Jet 15-yard line, Sam Ratigliano has been known to throw the book out. He has run a tight end reverse for 2 touchdowns this situation.
I don't think it says in the book you can't do that.
No. And I never did figure out who wrote the book.
That's right.
Mike Pruitt. A gain of 3. Second down and 7. 12-yard line. Now the wind has started to whip around again here in Cleveland. And it is still cold.
That's a lovely little factor to throw in there.
Second and 7, 12-yard line of New York. Sight. Waits. Finally bumped out of bounds. Mark Merrill is the man who got him as Brian Sipes slipped out of the arms of a would-be sack.
And Brian Sipes did a lot. I mean, Merrill made a fine play just to get back into it because Klecko's got a good grip on Sipes. When he loses it, their team also loses containment. You see Merrill start to stutter step, and now he really has to bust his hump. If he doesn't, Sipes picks up a first. Now it's 3rd and 4.
9-yard line. Wide to the far side is Logan. Rucker wide to the near side. Looking to Rucker, dropping it off underneath to Calvin Hill, incomplete. So Don Cockcroft will come in. Cockcroft is 0 for 1 as a field goal kicker in this ball game, 39 yards away. It was blocked by Klecko earlier.
And Mark Merrill makes another big play to stop the drive. He gets in a little bit late, but Sipes never even sees him. He just kind of forces him to flutter the ball out there and turn it over.
Dave Logan, the wide receiver to hold. 16-yard line, a kick of 26 yards. Cockcroft has hit on the year 15 of 24. It is good. It is now Cleveland 17, the New York Jets 3, 8 minutes left to go in the first half.
The Weller Mini Shop has so many accessories you can do almost anything. Light up a room, buff up a spoon, help lay the rails, build something that sails, turn old into new, make miniatures too, wipe away the years, stop a little boy's tears. The Weller Mini Shop Kit does so many things, yet costs so little. Weller, one of the great family of tools from Cooper Industries.
For me.
New Schlitz Light.
There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light. Gentlemen, here's to fast horses.
Schlitz Light and those who love them.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
Shields and Yarnell star in the Walt Disney World Christmas Special with Phyllis Diller and Danielle Spencer, Pablo Cruz and Andrea McArdle, tonight on NBC.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland, where it is freezing. At Cleveland, leading the Jets 17-3. Bruce Harper and Darnell Powell, the deep backs on the kickoff return. Don Cockcroft, who just booted the 26-yard field goal for the Browns, puts it in the air. 6-yard line, Bruce Harper dribbles it, picks it up 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41-yard line. Good return by Bruce Harper. Once again, the Jets, excellent field position. Gary Parris makes the tackle. But the Jets have been unable to move against the Cleveland defense.
It's the second good kickoff return that Bruce Harper has made. Gives them good field position. They need it because they need to score badly to get back in this ball game.
Hey, you got fourth
Look at our
billing.
pals.
Yeah, but you got fourth billing.
I don't care.
New York, their own 41-yard line. First down. Robinson has time, throws. It is complete. Scott Durking out of the backfield. Close to the first down. Charlie Hall makes the tackle in Cleveland territory. Now, thus far in the ball game, Cleveland has had the ball 14 minutes and 43 seconds. The Jets have had it less than half of that, 7:05.
Good way to keep a high-powered offense in check. And, yes. The task is really now on the Jets defense. Although they have to score some points, I think they will if they're given the ball enough.
First down. Robinson drops this off to Durking. Durking to the 45. That is all. Gain of 4. Dick Ambrose, the middle linebacker, was there.
You haven't seen Wesley Walker being an instrumental factor.
Why not?
The reason being Tom Darden is standing over there. No matter what side of the field Wesley Walker is on, Darden is shifting over to his side. Now watch as his drop starts. He just kind of slips over to the right. He's already started on the right side, slips over, keeps Wesley covered, just does any kind of backup coverage to help out after the play's thrown.
Now, one thing that Wesley Walker can do, he can outrun even your special defenses.
You think Darden doesn't know it?
All right. Bruce Harper's in the backfield for the Jets. 2nd and 6. Draw. Harper, first down. 32-yard line.
Okay, another case in point. If they can get their running backs, this time Harper past the line of scrimmage, Darden has got to be concerned again with Wesley Walker. It looks like a pass from the snap of the ball. He's scooting over. Oftentimes, you'll see Darden come up and stop these kind of plays for 3- and 4-yard gains. But he's concerned. He knows the way they're going to beat him is beat him deep.
If you're going to beat him short, make him work. Take a lot of time, right? You got the lead. Brown, 17, Jets 3. Cleveland, 32-yard line. Pass is complete, far side. Derek Gaffney, the rookie from Florida. Ron Bolton had the coverage at the 27-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. 5 minutes, 52 seconds left to go, first half. The Jets rushing a total of 39 yards compared to Cleveland's 76. Durking. 18-yard line.
Now they've had the ball a long enough time during this drive to get the feel of what's going on defensively for the Browns. They're starting to move the ball. They're throwing it around the infield. They're giving the ball to Durking, couple of draw plays. And Buffalo now is tied by New England, 7-7 in the second quarter.
Sam Bam Cunningham scored. Leahy loosening up just in case. First down, New York. 18-yard line of Cleveland. They need a touchdown. Robinson is sacked. 27-yard line.
Play.
Clay Matthews got him. Second sack of the ball game for the Browns.
Cleveland does not blitz very often. They haven't too long. Gerald Irons is an excellent cover. They know Clay Matthews has great ability. I even had a chance to play about 2 weeks with his father before he retired. That shows you what age we're getting. But this guy has all the physical ability. We're going to see it one more time. He gets there before he even gets set up. Over the top of the back, into the quarterback's lap.
2nd and 18, 5 men in the secondary. 4-man rush. Robinson fires on target. You wondered where he was? Well, there he is, Wesley Walker. First down. It'll be first down, goal to go.
They gave him just a little bit more time, allowed Wesley Walker to get deep behind the linebackers underneath Darden. The ball was perfectly thrown. They come up with a big play, gives them a chance to get back in the ball game. Look at the control of the body by Walker. To catch a ball going across the middle when it's thrown behind you is a talent that is very hard to teach.
Wesley Walker has been averaging 25.4 yards per reception, leading the NFL in that category. First down, goal to go. Clark Gaines is in the ball game. Kevin Long to the 2-yard line. It'll be second down and goal to go. Tom Darden saves a touchdown for Cleveland. 3:37, clock is moving. Time remaining first half. Upcoming the 9th play of this drive.
And it all started with Harper's return of the kickoff. You give a group a good field position, and they're liable to take advantage of it.
Kevin Long, and he will not go anywhere. Dick Ambrose makes the tackle. It'll be third down and goal to go. Loss of a yard.
Biggest play of the game so far, Charlie, coming up. Third down and 3. If they get the ball inside the 1-yard line, I do believe they'll have a go at scoring 6. Otherwise, I think they'll settle for 3.
Bruce Harper comes in. Durkee comes out. Robinson wants to throw. Harper's there. Has it. Touchdown.
That's what you call keeping your poise. Robinson had nobody to throw to. His back was going out. He was very well covered. Harper makes the big play again for a touchdown. But let's take a look. Dick Ambrose was in good position to cover the pass. As Robinson goes out, he knows he hasn't got much time. There's no real opening. Charlie Hall's trying to shadow box him. However, he puts the ball about the only place it can be thrown, and the Jets are back in the game.
17-9, extra point by Pat Leahy. It is good. It is Cleveland 17 and New York 10. 59 yards in the drive in 10 plays. Back in a moment.
Everywhere you go, our new Dodge Diplomat is getting a great reception. Maybe it's because of the luxurious optional leather seating. Or the convenience of standard power front disc brakes and power steering. Or the thrift of its 225/6 engine. Whatever it is, our Dodge Diplomat is getting such a good reception that some other important goings-on are going on unnoticed.
That's my Dodge.
Alcoa can't wait.
Alcoa Pilfer-proof closures have protected products for over 50 years by showing what's been opened and what has not. Alcoa has also developed child-resistant closures. They're tough for kids to open, so they're good protection against too much curiosity. In our hospitals, Alcoa closures help to protect life-supporting systems and medicines. Alcoa closures satisfy very special needs today.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Next Sunday, regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include the Chiefs against the high-flying Seattle Seahawks and the Chargers versus the Oilers in an interdivisional clash. Check local listings for the game in your area.
This is Charlie Jones. John Brody as Pat Leahy kicks off. Keith Wright to the 20, the 25. Returns to the 33-yard line. Ken Schroy makes the tackle for the New York Jets. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
This is Charlie Jones, John Brody in Cleveland. The Browns leading the Jets 17-10 with 2 minutes, 21 seconds left to go in the first half. Cleveland has the ball. First down, their own 33. Brian Sipe has completed 7 of 11 passes for 103 yards. Goes right to the air. Incomplete.
He got a little bit of pressure, Charlie, but I think it was just a miscommunication between he and Mike Pruitt. He threw the ball a little before Mike was ready. The play was open. You can bet they're coming after it. They'd like to get a few more points on the board. They respect the Jet offense, and they better.
Stay with us at halftime. We'll be updating NFL 78, all of the scores and highlights around the NFL this afternoon. Looking forward to the second half of the doubleheader on NBC. 5 on the pattern. Over the middle. Rucker has a block. He gets it from Greg Pruitt, has the first down, and is out of bounds.
Oh, baby doll. That's the kind of block you hope you get from an offensive halfback, but you very seldom get him in position to make that kind of a block. Just a beautiful hit for Rucker. Picks up the first, and they're still on the move. Okay, take a look. You can see for yourself. Rucker catches it. It's a very dangerous position for him to be in. Greg Pruitt comes back, picks off Keller. That's a little man beating a big man.
Cleveland, 46-yard line. 5 on the pattern again. Way overthrown. Under pressure, Dave Logan, he's throwing it away. 2:05 left to go in the first half. Washington, Atlanta tied now 7-7. John Riggins just scoring for the Redskins. Second quarter score. Here it is Cleveland 17 and the Jets 10. Sam Retigliano, head coach of the Cleveland Browns. His counterpart, Walt Michaels, who played 10 years for the Browns, head coach of the Jets now. They won 5 divisional titles, 2 NFL championships, and he was All-Pro 4 times. Remind me to tell you later what Walt said when he walked on the field. Here's a delay. The screen. Cleo Miller to the 50. First down. 42-yard line.
A lot more screens, a lot more draws thrown today. Get those linebackers into their drop. Makes it very hard for them to come back and cover the play. They're the ones that are most responsible for covering any sort of screens and draws. They've got their hands full.
2-minute warning, 6 seconds late will now be given. We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment.
From Berkeley to Boston, they know the best call on any down.
It was open the last time.
Beer makes it good.
You said it.
There's no debate.
Beer makes it good. Schlitz makes it great.
11 million times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz.
Since 1849, there's no debate. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. Schlitz makes it great.
How long do you want your car to last?
1,000,000 miles. She's already done 89,000, and the only thing I've ever done to the engine is tune it up. Of course, I check it regularly, and the only motor oil I've ever used in my car is Quaker State.
Quaker State can't promise everyone the kind of mileage Julian Fry gets, but Quaker State helps cars last, and that's a fact.
I guess that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in America.
The granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, pits the Trojans of USC against the Wolverines of Michigan in a battle of perennial football powers. New Year's Day on NBC.
When Walt Michaels walked on the field, he said nothing ever changes here. They still don't sod the infield, and they don't take out the pitcher's mound. It's under the co-post to our left.
It does look like they buried an elephant out there, but they did improve the press box area.
Oh, yes, it is very nice.
Quite concerned with that.
Sipe has completed 60% of his passes. Goes deep into coverage. It is incomplete. Greg Pruitt, the intended receiver, and a flag is down, along with Brian Sipe back at the 50-yard line. Bob Martin in the coverage, and Sipe comes up a little gimpy.
He got a good hit, however. I mean, Bob Martin made a fine play. They were just trying to isolate Greg Pruitt on the opposite side as they isolated him the previous time on Keller. He made a fine play. I mean, that's the hardest thing in the game for a linebacker to do, is cover a Greg Pruitt all the way down the field, and he did it perfectly.
Holding the preliminary call against the Browns. Sipe has completed 9 of 16, 127 yards, 9 passes to 5 different receivers. So he spreads it around. Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, number 73.
That's a bad combination. You take a real good lick, and you get called for holding, too.
Call on Doug Deacon. Keith Wright comes in. Dave Logan comes out as a wide receiver. Keith Wright from Memphis State. The site of our director, John Gonzalez, big man at Memphis State. Rucker shows motion. Under pressure, Sight barely gets it off. Greg Pruitt. Pruitt to the 49-yard line of the Jets.
And he found a way to get out of that trap. I would have taken my hat off, and if Reggie Grant hadn't been there to pull him down finally, he would have.
We've got a timeout by the Cleveland Browns with the score, Cleveland 17 and the Jets 10.
We found the sock. You find the foot that fits it.
We'll get him. Smell, Duke. Now, come on.
There's something remarkable about Burlington
Well,
socks.
he's just fun in here.
A special treatment called BioGuard helps control sock odor. That goes for Burlington dress socks, casual socks, sports socks. Just look for the green stripe on the toe that says they've been treated with BioGuard, the odor controller. Lasts for the life of the sock.
I don't know what happened to you.
Only Burlington makes it.
Duke, where'd you go? Duke.
All across America, our new Dodge Diplomat wagon is getting a great reception. Maybe it's because Diplomat is one of the few wagons with optional leather seating. Or that it offers over 70 cubic feet of cargo space. Or that it's just so affordable. Whatever it is, our Dodge Diplomat wagon is getting a lot of attention these days. Maybe too much.
That's my Dodge.
All right, the great ones can turn a bad play into a good one. It's a simple little trail screen. Pruitt's out there. He's waiting. He's waiting. He had to wait just a little bit too long. The execution wasn't perfect. A lot of pursuit. However, he almost gets out of this trap.
Now, I mentioned the quote of Walt Michaels, Art Modell, the owner of the Browns, in the booth next to us. He had a comment during that last commercial, didn't he, John?
I don't blame him. I like it here.
I do, too. He said, wait till I go down and turn the warm water off in the locker room. 2nd and 17. Pruitt has 61 yards total offense, 44 rushing, 17 receiving. Sight. Good protection. Throws on the run. It is intercepted. Ed Taylor with the interception.
It's a tough play to make, and he also left the Jets with enough time to do something productive before the half ends. There's a minute and 21 seconds left. Taylor comes all the way from his right cornerback position, has to trail the play all the way, and you see Sipe get out of the containment, being hassled by Klecko. He throws the ball and hits Taylor on a dead run.
Jets have the ball on their own 25-yard line. First down, trailing 17-10. With 1:21 left in the first half. Turnovers are now equal. Ed Taylor with the interception. Ron Bolton, a fumble recovery early in the ballgame for the Cleveland Browns that set up their first score. Robinson has to move 75 yards. He goes to Walker, juggles it, drops it.
I'll tell you, he runs fine patterns, though. It's very hard to get open 16, 17 yards across the middle, particularly when there's a Tom Darden. He has to respect him. He goes down to the break point. He can either go deep or come across the middle, and he is flying when he's doing so. This ball hits him in a pretty good spot. But he forgets to hang on, and we go back to 2nd and 10.
At the New York 25. Robinson sends 5 on the pattern. Goes deep. Walker had beat the coverage by a step, and he's overthrown.
And he had Tom Darden whipped. There is no coverage that they're playing unless it's a blitz. That was not a blitz in which Tom Darden is not supposed to be deeper than Wesley Walker. But sometime during the day, give your quarterback enough time, he's going to beat you deep. Robinson had an excellent chance and overthrew him.
So it's 3rd down and 10. Robinson has completed 8 of 14, 93 yards. Bruce Harper's in the backfield. Harper, in this situation, becomes a favorite receiver. Robinson, he goes deep. Walker, they've got the coverage. It is intercepted. Clarence Scott has the interception. And he is then thrown down.
Well, you give them about 7 cents for having a go at it. They threw 2 real deep balls, 1 perfectly thrown ball over the middle in that drive. Clarence Scott comes up with it with 55 seconds left. But you can see Darden trailing on the play down here with Jerome Barkham. Robinson gets out of trouble. As he does so, he throws a jump center down, trying to get to Wesley Walker. Just a little short this time. He gets it picked off.
So Cleveland has the ball. With 55 seconds left to go in the first half at their own 20-yard line, they've got a first down. Browns leading the Jets by a score of 17-10. Sipe wants to go deep. He runs out of trouble, throws, pass is complete, has the first down, Cleo Miller.
That is really being nifty, Charlie. When you can get out of that kind of trouble, he knew he had no case at all. He didn't just throw it up for grabs or try to get rid of it. Willing to take the lick, he got out of a problem, made a big play out of it.
He picks up 12, a first down. They take a timeout. We look again.
He was trying to go to the left. However, he was covered to the left side. They got pretty good penetration. He got out from underneath. Put it where it had to be thrown, and Cleo Miller picks up the first.
Next Saturday, NFL football on NBC. We'll start it all with NFL 78. It'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. That'll be a good ball game.
They may play 2 weeks in a row.
Well, let's see. Would they? No.
You want to get into infant?
No, it'd be 2 weeks later in the playoffs. They would not play in a wild card situation. I don't know. It's so complicated. I know. Will you straighten it out as the wild card situation?
Yeah. What if Houston happens to get in?
Second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. Most of the nation will see Oakland at Miami. Now, depending on who wins that game, sets up a lot of wild
we'll
card
throw about 45 other ifs at you.
That's right. Sipe has completed 11 of 18, 142 yards. Has a first down at his own 32. 39 seconds left in the half. Flags are down. Pass is complete. Has the first down. Keith Wright. Fumble. Jets fall on the football.
And they've still got some time left. Just about 25, 26, 27 seconds, actually.
Burgess Owens recovers a fumble, but remember, there were 3 flags dropped early. Here's the call.
Number 34 on the offense was in motion. He started too quick. Penalty is declined. First down.
Motion on Greg Pruitt. Jets have the football. And as you said, John, 27 seconds remaining. Plenty of time.
Okay, he made a fine throw. Sipes was in a tough situation. He beat Martin to the sideline, but the play is not over. Keith Wright makes a pretty good reception, but you must hang on to the ball. He gets hit from the backside. And you know who made the play again is Mark Merrill. He caused him to fumble the ball. That's the 3rd big play he's made in this half.
Turnovers now equal at 2 apiece. 44-yard line Cleveland. First down Jets, 27 seconds, first half. Both backs in the block, going deep. Walker, he overthrows everybody.
He can't run that fast. That's using your head, however. You go back, you try to find some sort of a hole in the defense. If he gets enough time, Walker may find a way to find himself one. Any kind of crack will do. However, he's well covered by both Clarence Davis, Tony Peters back there. They come back and try again.
21 seconds left to go in the first half. In the backfield, Bruce Harper and Kevin Long. Walt Michaels on the far side, the head coach of the Jets. New York's record 8-6. Browns record 7-7. Both in the playoff picture. Robinson sends 5 out. Throws quickly into coverage. It's intercepted. Tom Darden has his 10th interception
and he is far from down.
Wesley Walker is the man who makes the tackle, and Tom Darden has just set a Cleveland club record.
There are very few defensive backs that have ever picked off double digits in interceptions in 1 year. He's just accomplished that. Robinson goes back. This is what you call a hope pass. You hope you either get a penalty. He's trying to get the ball to Barkham, but even if he doesn't, there's only 8 seconds left in the half. I think it's worth the gamble.
And with his return of 12 yards, he also sets an interception return record for the Cleveland Browns.
When you get 10, there's a good chance you're gonna get that record for interception returns.
8 seconds left to go first half. Sipe goes right back to the air. Drops this one off to Cleo Miller. Miller battles his way near the 50-yard line. He was down back at the 44 as the gun sounds. And that is the end of